I'd like to call the first meeting of the month of February 2018 to order. Can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Newell?
Present.
Trustee Palafis?
Present.
Trustee Stanton?
Present.
Trustee Gata?
Present.
Trustee Arnett?
Present.
Trustee Mills?
Present.
Mayor McLeod?
Present. Everybody please rise. Trustee Newell, you want to lead us?
Yes.
In the pledge?
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Newell. Move on. Item number 3, recognition of the audience. This is time if someone has a question or concern for an item that's not on the agenda. Now's the time to come forward. Yes, sir. Can you identify yourself for the record, name and address?
Yes, Scott Ewing, 540 Alcoa Lane. I'm addressing you here in the beginning because I'm confused as to whether this would be the right place or not. As I'm sure you all remember, we had some very fruitful discussions over the last couple of months involved in the parking situation. In December, that led to a January discussion and finally an approval in January for the parking permits. But in the January meeting, there was an inability to continue the discussion in regard to the fence and the gate between Alcoa and Washington and the apartments. And you guys advised that you weren't able to talk about it last month because it wasn't on the agenda, even though I believed it was on the agenda. My recollection was that there was actually a motion by Gary to put on the agenda for today further discussion of that, but I find to my dismay that there's nothing in the agenda involved in this item, which would make my second month in a row of a trip without getting any satisfaction to this issue. So I don't know whether this is the right time and place or how it is to address this, but I don't think that I should just be dismissed as one of the residents of this village in regard to these concerns.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. Nobody's dismissing anything. Mr. Norris, do you have any
Yes,
information on
trustee
this?
Palafis's motion was to add it to a board standing committee under what they call, what we have on the agenda is called items under review. And that, actually, I think the agenda for the committee is going to be read later tonight that shows it under items in review for next week. We are not ready to come back and actively discuss it next week, but it will stay on that committee's future agenda list to that, and we will notify you for whatever meeting date it's going to actually be discussed.
I'll actually receive a
Yeah,
notification.
we will contact you, yes.
Didn't we say we would
We
do
said
that
we would
with
do that,
everybody that was
yes.
there, interested in it?
Right.
So I'll be able to track this by future agendas of the planning committee on the website.
Transportation.
Since it started under transportation and road improvement, we're leaving it there because the committee, the parking issue was under transportation and road improvement, so we're leaving it there so we don't confuse people. They happen to meet the same night anyway, so it really doesn't make that big a difference from a village standpoint. So we will notify you.
Can you set my expectation as to an approximate period of time?
It depends on how fruitful our dialogue is with the associations, but I'm hoping in March. And that would be the second Monday night in March.
So now it goes, instead of being on the regular board meeting, which should be the first Monday, now it goes to the second one in
That's
the month
correct.
for
That's
that
March
going forward?
12th.
It was on a committee to begin with, and it stays on the committee for discussion before it goes to the board.
Right. The committee makes a recommendation to the board.
Okay.
And we always meet the second Tuesday of each month.
So the reason I didn't
Second Monday.
receive notification
Second
about
Monday.
it not being on the agenda
Is
is
because it
because
wasn't.
it's not on the agenda.
That's right.
Seems like a funny way to run a railroad to me.
We do like that you come and visit us, though.
Thank you. Anybody else have something they want to bring forward? Now we'll move on to the consent agenda. Chair would accept a motion.
Minutes.
Oh,
Minutes.
approval of minutes, yes.
2 sets.
I'll approve the minutes of January 15th, 2018.
Second.
Motion a second. Any questions or concerns about the minutes? See none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried.
Make a motion to approve the January 27th, 2018 minutes.
Second.
Motion a second. Any questions on these minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Now we'll move on to consent agenda. Chair would accept a motion.
Move to approve the consent agenda with the A through F and H through L.
Okay, there's
I'll
a
second.
request to defer item G by New Singular Wireless. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions on any of these? The items on the consent agenda approve of A, the approval of the agenda. B, approval of the schedule of bills for February 5th, 2018 in the amount of $3,777,556.67. C, request board approval of an ordinance granting a special use and variation to Tollway LLC owner, Stonegate Properties, Inc., applicant, and the Hoffman Estates Park District applicant, 2205 through 2295 Pembroke Avenue. D, request board approval of an ordinance prohibiting the use of groundwater as a potable water supply by the installation or use of potable water supply wells or by any other method. This is the mobile gas station. E, request board approval of an ordinance approving the extended, amended, and restated water supply agreement with the Northwest Suburban Municipal Joint Action Water Agency. F, request board approval of the Sunderland House rental and use policy. G is being deferred, and that is request board approval of a request by New Singular Wireless, PCS LLC, commonly referred to as AT&T, for an extension to an existing cellular antenna licensed at 1355 Westbury Drive. This item is being deferred. H, request board approval of change order number 1 to the contract with Boulder Contractors, Cary, Illinois, for the West Berkeley Lane Storm Sewer Replacement Project in an amount of $57,225 for a total amount not to exceed $564,185. I, request board authorization to extend the 2016 contract for 2018 Brevo hosting fees for village facilities to Sound Incorporated, Naperville, Illinois, low bid, in an amount not to exceed $21,937.32. J, request board authorization to 1, waive formal bidding, 2, purchase Neptune meters from Water Resources, Inc., LG, Illinois, sole supplier, at 2018 unit prices in an amount not to exceed $215,000. K, request board authorization to 1, waive formal bidding, and 2, purchase a 2018 Ford Utility Police Interceptor AWD for the fire department through the Northwest Municipal Conference Suburban Purchasing Cooperative Contract from Curry Motors, Frankfurt, Inc., Frankfurt, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $31,047. L, request board authorization to award contract for entry-level patrol officer testing to COPS and FIRE Personnel Testing Service, Schaumburg, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $17,200. Any questions on any of these items? We do have a motion, a second, for A through F and H through L. If there are no questions, can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. President's report.
On a motion to defer G.
Oh, defer G.
I'll make a motion to defer G at this time till March 5th.
March 5th.
I'll second.
Second.
Motion, a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. We are deferred on item G. Now we'll go to President's report. We have some proclamations, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I have the very first one. Office of the Mayor Proclamation. Whereas exemplary public service employment is of vital importance in assuring provision of services directed toward the health, welfare, and safety of the citizens of any community. Whereas the police department has upon its roster an individual who should be commended for assisting said department in faithfully serving the citizens of this community. And whereas length of service coupled with continued training and positive attitude toward assigned job tasks makes a profile of this dedicated employee. And whereas the Village of Hoffman Estates, on behalf of its citizens, desires to acknowledge its indebtedness and gratitude for 25 years of dedicated and proficiency in the aforementioned department. Be it therefore resolved that William D. McLeod, acting under and by virtue of the authority vested in him by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and the laws of this Village of Hoffman Estates, hereby proclaims Sunday, February 18th, 2018, is Mark Mueller Day in the Village of Hoffman Estates, and urge all employees and citizens of the village to join us in expressing gratitude and appreciation to this employee who may have assisted them with outstanding service.
Chair will accept the motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion is second. We appreciate the great job that Mark has done for us for 25 years. Thank you, Mark. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. Come on, Mark. Bring your family up. Bring your family up. Come on, Mom. Come on. Nice job. Two more proclamations, right? Right.
Smile when you say that. Thanks for sharing them with us.
Gotta get a picture, Mark. Mom, you wanna come up for the picture? Come on up.
Take your time.
Sorry, the guy's like.
Yeah.
Introduce everybody, Mark.
My wife Jeannie and my mother Lillian.
Very
Great.
good.
Big smile. One more. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Who's next?
I am. Office of the Mayor Proclamation. Whereas exemplary public service employment is of vital importance in assuring provision of services directed toward the health, welfare, and safety of the citizens of any community, and whereas the fire department has upon its roster an individual who should be commended for assisting said department in faithfully serving the citizens of this community, and whereas length of service coupled with continued training and positive attitude toward assigned job tasks make a profile of this dedicated employee, and whereas the Village of Hoffman Estates, on behalf of its citizens, desires to acknowledge its indebtedness and gratitude for 20 years of dedication and proficiency in the aforementioned department. Be it therefore resolved that William D. McLeod, acting under and by virtue of the authority vested in him by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and the laws of this Village of Hoffman Estates, hereby proclaim Friday, February 16th, 2018, as Daniel Groby Day in the Village of Hoffman Estates, and urge all employees and its citizens in the village to join us in expressing gratitude and appreciation to this employee who may have assisted them with outstanding service.
Chair will accept the motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. We appreciate the great job Daniel's done for us for 20 years. One of the reasons the fire department is so outstanding. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. Get a picture, Dan?
Mark, come on up here. He made me come.
I was gonna say you got the rest of the family back there too.
Yeah. Hey, come on. Angry Uncle Dan. Come on, Dan.
Hey, Chief, come on up.
Come on up here. Come on, this is my picture. I get to pick who I get in.
Do you want us in it or not, Dan? We can wait.
Put your foot down.
Yeah. My uncle, Angry Uncle Dan.
All right. Everybody smile. Bev, just a little. All right, one more. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
That was clever.
Okay, who's next?
I am. So, Office of the Mayor Proclamation. Whereas exemplary public service employment is of vital importance in assuring provision of services directed toward the health, welfare, and safety of the citizens of any community, and whereas the fire department has upon its roster an individual who should be commended for assisting said department and faithfully serving the citizens of this community. And whereas length of service coupled with continued training and positive attitude toward assigned job tasks make a profile of this dedicated employee. And whereas the Village of Hoffman Estates, on behalf of its citizens, desires to acknowledge its indebtedness and gratitude for 20 years of dedication and proficiency in the aforementioned department. Be it therefore resolved that William D. McLeod, acting under and by the virtue of the authority vested in him, by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and the laws of this Village of Hoffman Estates, hereby proclaim Friday, February 16, 2018, as Daniel Kurzawinski Day, and I hope I said that right, in the Village of Hoffman Estates, and urge all employees and citizens of the village to join us in expressing gratitude and appreciation to this employee who may have assisted them with outstanding service.
Chair will accept the motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion is second. We appreciate the great job that Daniel's done for us for 20 years. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. Chief, will you give this to Daniel for us? Appreciate it. Thank you.
I was wondering why you didn't give me one.
Office of the Mayor Proclamation. Whereas exemplary public service employment is of vital importance in assuring provision of services directed toward the health, welfare, and safety of the citizens of any community. And whereas the Fire Department has upon its roster an individual who should be commended for assisting said department and faithfully serving the citizens of this community. And whereas length of service coupled with continued training and positive attitude toward assigned job tasks make a profile of this dedicated employee. And whereas the Village of Hoffman Estates, on behalf of its citizens, desires to acknowledge its indebtedness and gratitude for 20 years of dedication and proficiency in the aforementioned department. Be it therefore resolved that William D. McLeod, acting under and by virtue of the authority vested in him by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and laws of this Village of Hoffman Estates, hereby proclaims Friday, February 16, 2018, as Mark Lauder Day in the Village of Hoffman Estates, and urges all employees and citizens of the village to join us in expressing gratitude and appreciation to this employee who may have assisted them with outstanding service.
Chair will accept the motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Thanks to Mark for his great service these past 20 years. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. Mark, come on up. All right, let's get a picture. You want to introduce everybody, Mark? Who you got with you here?
My wife Susan, my son Luke.
Welcome.
Bubba's taller this week.
Kevin.
All right, everyone smile. One more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm next. Whereas Library Lovers Month is a month-long celebration of school, public, and private libraries of all types. This is a time for everyone, especially library support groups, to recognize the value of libraries and to work to assure that the nation's libraries will continue to serve. And whereas, as key municipal agencies and focal points for community education, libraries are major players in creating livable, environmentally friendly cities and towns. And whereas libraries are private, nonprofit organizations that depend on the support of individuals, corporations, and foundations to help ensure that libraries remain free to the millions of people who visit in person or via the web each year. And whereas libraries are a sanctuary away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, they offer security and peace and quiet. They are also a place where one can focus, surrounded by like-minded people with the desire to acquire knowledge. And whereas libraries are spaces where people of all ages can practice lifelong learning. And whereas libraries are pivotal in encouraging informed political involvement, libraries also help citizens learn how to become advocates for themselves and their communities. Be it therefore resolved that William D. McLeod, acting under and by virtue of the authority vested in him by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and laws of this village of Hoffman Estates, hereby proclaims February 2018 as Library Lovers Month in the village of Hoffman Estates, and urges all Hoffman Estates residents and businesses to join in its observance by visiting a local library to learn about its vast resources.
Chair to accept a motion.
So moved.
It's a motion, a
I'll
second.
second.
We have a motion, a second. We
You have
appreciate
double motions
Couple
and
of
double
times there.
seconds.
double motions, double seconds.
Couple to pick from.
That's because you're all library lovers, no doubt about it. They were fortunate, in addition to the private libraries, we have the Schaumburg Township Library, Palatine Township Library, and we have Gale Board, and we have the Barrington Township Library. So we're very fortunate in our community of so many outstanding libraries. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. You make sure this gets sent to our local libraries. Yes, sir. Okay, who's next? Oh,
I'm like waiting for somebody to start talking. Sorry.
it's you.
No, it's me. Office of the Mayor proclamation. Whereas in a recent national survey, 1 in 10 teens reported being hit or physically hurt on purpose by a boyfriend or girlfriend at least once in the 12 months prior to the survey, and nearly half of all teens in relationships say they know friends who have been verbally abused. And whereas dating violence can have a negative effect on health throughout life, victims of teen dating violence are more likely to experience symptoms of depression and anxiety. And whereas teens who are victims in high school are at higher risk for victimization during college. And whereas unhealthy relationships can start early and last a lifetime, teens often think some behaviors like teasing and name-calling are a normal part of a relationship. However, these behaviors can become abusive and develop into more serious forms of violence. Be it therefore resolved that William D. McLeod, acting under and by virtue of the authority vested in him by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and laws of this village of Hoffman Estates, hereby proclaim February 2018 as National Teen Dating Violence Prevention and Awareness Month in the village of Hoffman Estates, and urge all Hoffman Estates citizens, government agencies, business leaders, hospitals, schools, and public and private institutions in the village to promote awareness of teen dating violence, to support programs and policies that reduce the incidence of teen dating violence, and to provide opportunities for all to participate in the awareness and prevention of such violence.
Chair to accept a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
It's a motion, a second. The scourge of dating violence, not only for teens, but for other people, continues to be a problem in this great country of ours. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. Dr. Savigi, will you accept this? Thank you.
There we go, and I have the honor of the last one. Office of the Mayor proclamation. Whereas American Heart Month is promoted by the American Heart Association to increase awareness of heart disease, risk of stroke, support, and information on treatment and prevention of heart disease. And whereas cardiovascular disease, which includes heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure, is the #1 killer in men and women in the United States. And whereas cardiovascular disease is leading cause for disability in Americans, interfering with individuals' ability to work, time with family, and physical and mental health. And whereas the United States pays over $300 billion each year for the cost of health care, service medications, and loss of productivity due to cardiovascular disease. And whereas most cardiovascular disease and death can be prevented through changes in daily habits, environment, diet, exercise, and health management. And whereas heart disease can often be prevented when people make healthy choices and manage their health conditions, communities, health professionals, and families can work together to create opportunities for people to make healthier choices. Be it therefore resolved that William D. McLeod, acting under and by the virtue of the authority vested in him by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and laws of the Village of Hoffman Estates, hereby proclaim February 2018 as American Heart Month in the Village of Hoffman Estates, and hereby encourage all citizens, government agencies, business leaders, hospitals, schools, and public and private institutions in the Village of Hoffman Estates to promote awareness of heart health facts and prevention that advocate a healthy lifestyle and provide opportunities for awareness and education of heart health as related to optimum physical, emotional well-being.
Chair will accept the motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
It's a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. Dr. Savidja, one more time. Getting your steps in this evening. Thank you. This evening, we had a reception for the Hoffman Estates High School Hawks football team. They went to the state semifinals last November. This team launched a new chapter in the Hawks' legacy by advancing to the state semifinals for the first time in school history after defeating Chicago De La Salle 34-0. Man, I remember when I went to St. George, De La Salle just beat us like a drum, so this is sweet. Lake Forest 48-28 and Belleville North 35-10 in the IHSA Class 6A football playoffs. We're proud of the team. We wish them much success in the coming year. Also, is it any surprise the Public Works Department gets recognized? Joe? Again? Really? Okay. Village of Hoffman Estates wins National Safe and Sustainable Snow Fighting Award. The Village of Hoffman Estates has won a 2017 Safe and Sustainable Snow Fighting Award from the SALT Institute for Excellence in Environmental Consciousness and Effective Management in the Storage of Winter Road Salt. Clear winter roads protect lives and commerce. Every winter, more than 116,000 Americans are injured and over 1,300 killed as a result of pavement that is snow, slush, or ice covered, according to the federal government. But a study of the highways and snowbelt states show that road salt reduces crashes by up to 88%. When the direct and indirect impact of road shutdowns on the broader economy is factored in, road salt becomes even more valuable. A one-day major snowstorm can cost the state $300 to $700 million in direct and indirect cost, lost commerce, and productivity. In fact, the icing pays for itself within the first 25 minutes after the salt is spread, making proper salt storage and timely de-icing a smart investment. The village's Public Works Department is extremely conscious of both cost and environmental factors when it comes to keeping our roads and ultimately our residents safe. I'm proud of the service this department continues to provide and applaud them for their success in the area of snow and ice management. These facilities have cleared a high bar, said SALT Institute President Lori Roman. For example, in minimizing salt runoff alone, 10 specific recommendations must be met. About 17 million tons of de-icing salt is applied to roadways in the U.S. each year, and another 6 million tons are spread in Canada. Having enough road salt on hand before storms hit requires advanced planning and facilities that provide safe and efficient storage. Winners must also display proper maintenance and good housekeeping practices. The familiar sight of trucks spreading salt on icy winter roads give motorists reassurance, as it should, said Roman. If that salt was stored in and spread by a facility honored with a safe and sustainable snow fighting award, motorists have the added assurance of knowing the utmost care has been taken to protect public safety and the environment. Congratulations again to our Public Works Department. Thanks, Joe. Hey, Joe. I do have some appointments. I have Wendy Schmidt to the Arts Commission. Chair would accept a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion to second. Wendy's already attended the Arts Commission meeting, the last meeting, so she's jumped right in. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. Ed Matone to be chair of the Disabled Commission. Michelle Plafus is stepping down as chair, but will remain on the commission. Chair would accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. One resignation, Mary Warburton from the Sister Cities Commission.
So moved with regrets.
Second.
It's a motion to second. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have a motion carried. Last Sunday, the 28th, several of us were able to go to the Indian Republic Day, 69th Republic Day in Itasca. It was a very great event and great to see all our Indian friends as they celebrate the anniversary of the Republic. On January 10th and 29th, I participated in the Pension Fairness Coalition call. And on the 31st, we had Heather and Tommy Johnston came for a tour of the Village Hall. Trustee Gay accompanied me, and we had a very enjoyable time with them. On Friday the 2nd, I participated in the League of Cities Transportation Infrastructure Committee meeting via telephone. And on Saturday the 3rd, we had almost everybody for Goldie Eineker's 90th birthday celebration, original resident of Parcel A and a founding member of St. Hubert Church. And boy, she's sharp as a whip. And this evening, we had the Hoffman Estates Hawks football reception honoring them for making the semifinals. And that's all I have at this point. We go with trustee comments, starting with trustee Arnett.
Okay, thank you. On the 28th, I also attended the India's 69th Republic Day. Very well attended. Their outfits are fantastic. People talk about taking pictures. They take the cake on taking pictures.
One more.
One more. On the 3rd, I also attended Goldie's 90th birthday party. Great family turnout for her, and her, God bless her and her 6 boys. And tonight I also attended the high school football awards, and hopefully another great year for them. And I also had a chance to go by the new updated car wash on Golf Road in Roselle. Very nice, gets you in and out very quickly, but we're going to have to watch the traffic jam on Golf Road if they close down to 2 lanes, or close their 1 lane down to 1, because it will build up on traffic on Golf. So, but it's very, very nice. So that's all I have.
Great. Trustee Stanton.
Thank you. On the 16th of January, I was able to attend the St. Hubert Mass and Proclamation for presentation ceremony. That was for their food drive that they, I guess, were the largest amount in the Catholic Archdiocese that they gave. Okay. Then on the 17th, I was able to attend the Continental Breakfast and Marie Antoinette performance sponsored by our Senior Citizens Commission. Again, a wonderful event. That evening, I was able to attend the Choral Airs performance and reception here at our Village Hall. On the 20th of January, I was actually stopped by the Sharon Mills visitation at St. Hubert's. Again, Karen, our condolences. And later, after that, I was here at the Coffee with the Board. On the 23rd, I went to the Healthy Home Tour in Inverness with my wife. And on the 25th, attended the Hoffman Estates Chamber of Commerce Celebration of Excellence Awards dinner. And congratulations to our police for winning one of the awards there. And then on the 3rd, I was able to attend the Goldie Heinecker 90th birthday celebration. And then finally, congratulations to our Hoffman Estates High School Hawks football team.
Thank you. Trustee Mills.
On the 17th, I was at the Northwest Mosquito Abatement District meeting. I'm sorry I missed the Choral Airs that night. I heard it was very good, very nice, nicely attended event. The 24th, stopped into Wine Wednesday over at Sweet Caroline's. And the 25th, also attended the Celebration of Excellence that the Chamber put on. And congratulations also to the Police Department for their Public Sector of the Year Award. On the 3rd, also at Goldie Einecker's birthday, and she was quite a character, the way she told us all her stories. The 5th, this morning, was at the wrap-up meeting for the Celebrations of Excellence Committee meeting. I want to send out congratulations to Hoffman Estates football team. They did better this year than they did in all 4 years that my kids were there. And congratulations to Public Works on your latest award. And last but not least, thank you to all of you that did attend my sister-in-law's visitation earlier this month. It was very appreciated by our family. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Palafis.
I just want to echo congratulations to Public Works for your award, and for the Police Department for your award. Congratulations. And then my hats off congratulations to the Hoffman Hawks football team for a most excellent year. Those games are a lot of fun to go to, lots of energy and craziness. It was good to see a bunch of the coaches. They were some of my son's teachers, and rekindling with some of those folks. That's all for me.
Great. Trustee Newell.
Okay, some of the same. On the 17th, attended the Choral Airs, which was a fabulous concert. On the 20th, the Coffee with the Board. The 25th, the Celebration of Excellence, and congrats to our police department for the Public Sector Award. Then on the 3rd, the 90th birthday for Goldie Einecker. And no joke, man, that lady has it all upstairs. She is just, I mean, she's telling you stories, she can tell you dates, and she just goes on, and she doesn't miss a beat. She just keeps right on going. So happy birthday and many more. And I told her she's got to go to the 100, so. Congrats to the Hoffman Hawks football team, and congrats to our Public Works, and everybody drive home safely tonight. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Gata.
Yeah, let's start off on the 17th for the Continental Breakfast for Marie Antoinette, put on by the Commission of Senior Citizens here at Hoffman and here at Village Hall. And that was an excellent turnout. Also, coffee with the board on the 20th, as the rest of us were there. Then on the 24th, Wine Wednesday, that was held at Sweet Caroline's. And then on Wednesday, the 31st, we had the resident tour, as the mayor had indicated, with Heather Johnson and her son Tommy. And by the way, not only were the mayor and myself there, but the village clerk, Bev, did an excellent job with the tour
Yes.
that you conducted that morning. Thank you. Pardon?
I relate to that group.
Yes. Anyways, and then on Saturday, the February 3rd, when we attended the 90th birthday of Goldie Einecker at the bridges of Poplar Creek, and as somebody said, the turnout was excellent there. And she is sharp at 90 years old. And what did she say, Mayor, that she moved here in 1956?
56, yeah.
1956. All right. Couple years anyways. And congratulations to Public Works also. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Move on to 6C, Village Manager's Report.
I have nothing to add at this time.
Okay, 6D, Village Clerk's Report.
Rarely do you get me speechless. During the month of January, 58 passports were processed and 167 FOIAs. And as I put out an email earlier to the masses of our employees, anybody who's watching out there, the acceptance fee, April 2nd?
Yep.
Yeah, because the first is my kid's birthday. April 2nd goes up from $25 to $35. So that's assessed to anybody who's getting a first-time passport or renewing one that's older than 15 years. We have to be seen in front of us. So get in before April 2nd, make our numbers go up. Not that we want your money, we want you to go ahead and save your $10. So come and see us.
Thank you. Move on to 6C, Committee Reports, Transportation, Road Improvement. Trustee Mills.
As was mentioned earlier tonight, Transportation and Road Improvement Committee will be meeting here next Monday evening, February 12th, beginning at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. After approval of the minutes of January 8th, we'll go under new business, and we have 4 items. One is a review of request for handicap parking space on Whittingham Lane. 2 is a request approval for 2 IDOT resolutions to appropriate motor fuel tax funds for A, 2018 street revitalization project in an amount not to exceed $1,810,000, and B, 2018 traffic signal maintenance and Opticom repairs in an amount not to exceed $90,000, and hopefully we'll be getting those funds this year. Number 3 is request approval of an agreement with Strava Incorporated for access to bicycle activity data. And 4 is a request acceptance of Transportation Division monthly report. We'll have a president's report, and then, as mentioned before, items in review is the discussion of Steeple Hill, Highland Crossing, Fence and Gate, but that's not anticipated till at least March. And
Thank
that's
you.
all.
Planning, Building, and Zoning. Trustee Stanton.
Thank you. Following Transportation and Road Improvement Committee, we'll have a roll call, then approval of minutes of January 8th, 2018. For new business, we have 3 items, and they are all monthly reports. The first is request acceptance of the Department of Development Services monthly report for Planning Division. Second is request acceptance of the Department of Development Services monthly report for Code Enforcement Division. And third is request acceptance of Department of Development Services monthly report for Economic Development and Tourism. If the president wishes to speak further, he can. We have nothing in other or items in review at this time, and then we will adjourn.
Thank you. General Administration and Personnel. Trustee Arnett.
Okay. Immediately following the Planning, Building, and Zoning Committee, we will call to order the General Administration and Personnel Committee for February 12th, 2018. We will go first with a roll call, then approval of minutes for January 8th, 2018. We have 4 items under new business, starting with number 1, discussion regarding legislative update. Number 2, request acceptance of cable TV monthly report. Number 3, request acceptance of Human Resources Management monthly report. Number 4, request acceptance of Legislative Operations and Outreach monthly report. We will then go to the President's report, if there's any additional information, anything in other, or items in review, and then we would call for an adjournment.
Thank you, Trustee Arnett. Move on to 7, Planning and Zoning Commission reports. Chairperson Combs, how are you?
Good evening, everyone. Planning and Zoning Commission did not recommend for approval a request by Gary Taylor, owner, for a master sign plan dated January 17, 2018, in accordance with Section 9-3-8-M-13 of the zoning code for the property at 2570 Hassel Road, commonly referred to as Hassel Bar and Cafe. Voting was 5 ayes, 6 nays.
Okay, Corporation Council. This was a negative recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission. So the motion would be to sustain the Planning and Zoning Commission report. So if you agree with that report, you would vote yes or aye. If you disagree, you would vote no. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the findings.
To sustain? Sustain.
To
the
sustain,
report.
yes.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. I just will express my own personal opinion. I mean, I go by the assembly every day coming from the north side of the tollway, and it's in a hole. You can barely see the roof of the restaurant, and I think they really do need a high sign. I mean, they survived the tollway reconstruction. It is a classic institution in Hoffman Estates, and hopefully they will continue to thrive and prosper there. Okay, there is a motion, a second. Trustee Gata.
Well, all in favor, right?
No, no.
Not yet?
No, we have a
question?
motion and a second. We have a discussion.
Well, the thing is that I agree with what you said, and in fact, even looking at the different items that they submitted for the signs, and as far as the height and so forth, you're right. If you're down low, because of what was it?
Grade difference?
Yes, the grade difference, right? Difficult to see for it. So I agree with what you were saying for it. That's all I have.
Trustee Mills.
Yeah, I think we need to keep in mind this is a very unique situation here. First of all, there's no residential anywhere around there that this would affect too. But it is a very unique and probably one of the only areas in town that we would have this situation. So that's my opinion on it.
Okay.
So if you agree with the comments made, you would vote no?
Right.
Trustee Noel.
I just want to say, we were at the restaurants that were across the street over the weekend, and with the wall that's over there by the assembly now, because of the rebuilding of the entrance and the interchange, you can't tell what the sign says. You don't even know that there's a restaurant there. I mean, all you see is like the bars and just kind of a cutout. That's all you see. So I think, I agree with you, you need something to know that that restaurant's really there.
If I could clarify.
Yes.
We had no problem with the height, which is in excess of what we would normally allow, to 35 feet. It was the size of the sign and the size of the LED portion of the sign which far exceeds anything we would have had in the village.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion, a second. Any further discussion? See none, can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Newell.
No.
Trustee Palafis.
Nay.
Trustee Stanton.
Nay.
Trustee Gata.
Nay.
Trustee Arnett.
Nay.
Trustee Mills.
No.
And Mayor McLeod.
No. My vote doesn't count, but I still vote no.
Okay.
Okay, Counselor, now what? We want another motion from somebody?
Yes.
Yes, because you have the supermajority.
Well, the supermajority has to happen on this vote.
Make
Right.
sure your mic's on.
Right.
Make sure your mic's on.
So a motion to
motion.
approve the request.
The request of the
I'll make a
petitioner.
motion to approve the request by Gary Taylor for the property commonly known as the Assembly Barn Cafe.
There's a motion, is there a
I'll
second?
So moved. Second.
Trustee Palafis?
Were there any conditions on the,
Don't see any.
on the motion? I know it was denied, but were there conditions if it would have been?
Because it's
Google,
it's essentially a master sign plan, so there really are no conditions. It's all contained
Right.
within the package itself. So there were no conditions. I think the commission had suggestions as to changes they would like to see, but not actual conditions.
I mean, I hear your thoughts on the size, and the LED footprint. And then again, I also understand that there's literally nothing around it and it is in a hole, so. I just didn't know if there was any discussion about, those recommendations into.
The items that were contained in the Planning and Zoning Commission report were all items that commissioners raised: size of the sign, size of the message board, whether or not there was a wrap or an aesthetic treatment on the base of the pole. Those are reasons that they voted no on the request. They were not turned into conditions. So unless the board specifically wants to add conditions, you're voting on the request the petitioner had that, as it exists today, which is approval of
The
sign
other item
plan.
was, the pole was created a cantilever rather than
Right,
in the
that's
center of the
correct.
sign was the other
Right.
problem with it.
Trustee Gata?
Is the petitioner in the audience?
Yes.
Would he like to come up, please?
Can you come on up and identify yourself for the record?
Yeah, I'm Gary Taylor.
Yeah, talk to the microphone.
All right. I'm Gary Taylor, co-owner of the Assembly American Bar Cafe.
And I'm Jeannie Taylor, co-owner.
And
Rob Whitehead, Olympic Sign Company.
Trustee Gata, do you have a question?
Yeah, well, you know what, though, the thing is that, I mean, this is what we've been submitted and so forth. What is your opinion on this?
we'll defer to
Are you against this?
Nah, it's a sign that we worked really hard on, and we're really proud of it.
The zoning commission did a lot of work with us, and they gave us a ton of feedback from that first meeting. We thought we did a decent job going back and listening to the feedback and coming back, and we knew that we were asking for the same square footage as our original sign, and we just I guess we bit down and held on to that one. But the two things, again, to echo what Commissioner Coombs had said, the two things was the overall size and the LED. And to answer to, or the EMC size, and to answer to both of those concerns, on the overall size, I said this at the last meeting with what we really want is our old sign back. So in the absence of that, we would like the same square footage. The LED we're asking for because we have no visibility of our building. You don't know if we're a storage unit, or you don't know if we're and so that's why we're asking for the size of the LED, is to give us a greater latitude to capture the 45,000 people that will be driving by on that side.
Okay, any other questions? You
I
have
do.
something to say, sir?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead. Just
Was any discussion of landscaping done around the base of that pole?
Yes, so regarding the base, we initially had asked to put in, what are they called, honey?
Well,
The
ballards.
We had initially asked to put ballards around it, but they're not allowed. And so when we submitted it in December 20th, it had no concrete at the base. And one of the commissioners asked about that, and we agreed. And so what we came up with was a 30-inch concrete, and it would have landscaping around the base. There was discussion about whether or not to brick that, and my recollection is that it's not seen. The consensus was because it won't be seen, it wasn't required. But Again, this will be our sign. We don't want it to be ugly. We want to landscape around it and make it look nice.
Well, it won't be seen from the highway, but anybody who's down there.
Yes,
will see it as
absolutely,
well.
right, but right, to be clear, they were saying it wouldn't be seen from the roadways.
Right. So you are willing to do that, landscape?
Absolutely, oh,
Okay.
yes.
Mills.
Now, you're not taking any of your parking away by putting the sign there?
No.
Because you put it right next to the entry there?
Yes.
The parking lot does have to be reconfigured just because of what the tollway did.
Yeah.
And we submitted plans and everything was.
You better do it on the mic. They'll be yelling at
I was
us.
saying that everything was not formally submitted, but we've had talks with the village and
Okay.
our new parking lot layout looks very good.
Okay, good.
Anybody, yeah, Trustee Gata?
Well, you know what, though, because I'm looking at the sheets that were given to us. Are we talking about the first one, or are we talking about the second sign?
Excuse me, the first
The
one.
first one.
Yeah, and the reason why it is cantilevered is because of the setback.
Yes.
And the way the utilities were taken, we now had to move it to the other side of the parking lot. So even at the cantilevered position, they're still set way back from where they could be. So that kind of was a disadvantage because the utilities run right through the parking lot.
I think this is very attractive. I think you did an excellent job with this.
It's gonna cost them more because of the engineering of it, and there's more concrete, different steel, so they're doing it right. We
Very
definitely
good.
are.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, anyone else have anything? So we do have a motion, a second, to
Yes.
approve the petitioner's request with the landscaping around the sign. Is that understood?
Understood.
Okay. No other questions? Pull the board, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Newell.
Yes.
Trustee Palafis.
Aye.
Trustee Stanton.
Aye.
Trustee Gata.
Aye.
Trustee Arnett.
Aye.
Trustee Mills.
Aye.
Mayor McLeod.
Aye, motion carried. Good
Thank
luck
you
with
very much.
everything. Okay, we'll move on to 8, additional business. We have no additional business. Let's move on to an adjournment to executive session. For what reason, trustee?
I will make a motion that we adjourn into executive session for the purpose of review of closed session meeting minutes, 5 ILCS 120/2C21.
I'll second.
There's a motion, a second. Any discussion? See no discussion. Can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Newell.
Aye.
Trustee Palafis.
Aye.
Trustee Stanton.
Aye.
Trustee Gata.
Aye.
Trustee Arnett.
Aye.
Trustee Mills.
Aye.
Mayor McLeod.
Aye, motion carried. We are adjourned to executive session. We will not be coming back out.